Speaker, and I appreciate my colleague talking about the cost of living, but what we're seeing right now is, for the first time ever, we've seen in residential housing, Mr. Speaker, corporatization and corporate ownership exceed over 30% of residential housing. We've seen record profits for the big banks, big grocery. We're seeing it, the big web giants, Mr. Speaker, yet we've never heard a Conservative get up in this House and call out the corporate greed. This isn't about small business. This is about a handful of corporations that are having record profits, Mr. Speaker. Their margins are through the roof. And the Liberals aren't doing anything to rein it in, Mr. Speaker, except have roundtables and talk. But we haven't seen them do anything. The Conservatives, sitting in official opposition, have been absolutely silent. Even in Britain, Mr. Speaker, the Conservatives there brought in an excess profit tax on oil and gas. We can't even get Liberals to do that in Canada. So maybe through you, Mr. Speaker, my colleague can speak about the impact corporate profits and corporate greed is having on people in her riding. And I'm not talking about small businesses, because they're being impacted too by this corporatization and concentration of wealth. Thank you.
The
honourable member for Bellechasse, Lévis. Well, I think that what it is important to do today, what is urgent to do, is to talk about the Liberals' greed. It's the greed of the Liberals. They've lost any common sense they ever had. They're incredibly arrogant. That's what we need to talk about today, and that's what we're talking about. And I would just like to remind my colleague that his party supports this government, and it gives that government the majority it needs to stay in power, Mr. Speaker. Despite, all their hand-wringing, that's what they do every single day. They endorse what this government is doing in terms of its ethics, and it's very, very unfortunate, Mr. Speaker. They need to ask questions of that government. They have to stop supporting them. We need to call an election quickly